Okay, Tshegofatso, tell us a bit about yourself. Just your name, age, a bit of what you do family-wise.
Okay. All right. I'm Tshegofatso Moswatlhe. I'm currently 30 years of age. I studied public relations and communications at the University of Johannesburg in 2008. Yeah. And then I worked, did my internships, got a couple of jobs, but I think ultimately I've always known that I would come back home to help my parents with the church, with the school, just being around family business. I've always believed or known that I'm called to come and serve there. So that's basically me in a nutshell, because both my parents are pastors. So obviously when growing up, you are groomed to now, as when you get older, to become part of the church and serve, and yes. So that's me in a nutshell.
Perfect. All right. Okay. Now we are going to go head on into the serious questions. Okay. All right. So, Tshegofatso, tell us about that day when you were diagnosed with breast cancer. What led up to it?
So what happened is December of 2019, everything was fine. That is something I'm definitely sure of. Everything was fine. And then February, like I had said in my testimonial, I felt a lump, So I was having a snack and it just fell on my chest, and I did this, literally did this. And I felt a little knoppy there on my chest. I told my mom, and she said to me, you need to go get it checked out. Let's not take it for granted. You need to go. So, okay, I didn't have a problem. I went in to see my GP. My GP felt it, asked me about if I'm too stressed or something. And I'm like, I'm extremely stressed because I had previously been working at a very stressful job. So he said, you know what? I don't want to take chances. I'm going to in fact give you a letter of transfer to go to radiology in Clarksville, which I did. But when I got there, I did the sonar, and then the doctor wasn't happy. So he said, okay, same day. Let's do the mammogram. He's like, okay. So the fact that the reason why my GP didn't refer me for a mammogram had said my breasts were too small, so maybe the machine won't be able to detect, the mammogram machine. But the doctor there at the radiology still insisted that I go for a mammogram, which I did same day. So the nurse went in with the doctor into their consulting rooms. They discussed. So the doctor steps out now with so much concern on his face, and he asked me if we've got any history of breast cancer in the family. I'm like, not that I know of. Both my parents have never said anything about cancer. They've never even said anything about cancer with their parents. So he's like, I would like to do a biopsy. And, he looked very concerned. But to my surprise, I was very calm. It's crazy, but I was very calm. And he was very concerned, and he's like, okay, no problem. We went in and he conducted the biopsy, and he said, you'll get your results maybe in the next 3 to 5 days. Perfect. So closer to when I should have gotten my results, I'm panicking a little bit because now they're not calling. My GP's not saying anything. I called my GP one morning, and they said to me that he will call me back later in the evening. So he calls me after hours to let me know about the results. So he says to me, so they found a little carcinoma, but don't worry. So I don't know what carcinoma is. I'm like, okay, fine. But he's like, don't worry, you'll just do a little bit of chemo. And as soon as he said chemo, I was like, that's it.
What it was.
That means it's cancer.
What went through your head?
As soon as he said chemo. So I was driving when he called me. I got a bit anxious because I couldn't wait to go home and tell my mom about it. I was shocked. I was shocked. I don't want to lie. I was shocked. I was anxious. I guess what shocked me as well is that how, if there's no family history, how? But I think the one thing after I found out that I literally needed to do for myself was to not try to find out why it happened, was to now just gather up all the strength to say, now I'm preparing for this journey, because there's going back and forth into the past and trying to figure out what could have went wrong would have just absolutely not worked out for me. So I was shocked. Okay, I came home that evening, got home, told my parents. They were shocked too. I don't want to lie. They were very shocked. But they didn't want to now make me feel like, oh my God, everything must come to a standstill. To my GP the next day, just to have a face-to-face consultation. And he referred me to one doctor in Klerksdorp. He was good, but then shortly after my visit to the surgeon in Klerksdorp, another lady who had breast cancer came by to my house because she's helping a lot of women around our area. And then she talked to me, and then she told me about the supplements she's taking. And she said, you know what, I'm not saying you shouldn't go to the doctor in Klerksdorp, but I would like to recommend my surgeon that helped me. So that's when I didn't follow up now at Klerksdorp, and then I started going to see the breast surgeon that I'm seeing right now currently. Yeah, that's about it.
Yes. Okay. So when you got to your doctor, then what was your treatment plan?
Okay, so I got to the doctor. Everyone was telling me, oh my word, this doctor, you might get an appointment, because it was in June sometime. Everyone was saying you might get an appointment later in the year. She's such a busy person. Fortunately for me, I call on a Thursday. I remember it was a Thursday, and they're like, next week, Wednesday, come in. I'm like, hallelujah. So I go there, and I get there. It's so shocking for you to get into a consulting room where there's now like older people, and you're the youngest person in that consulting room, and we're all waiting for the doctor and whatnot. So I got there, and the consultation didn't even take more than 10 minutes, I tell you. I got there, because I filled out a form, I filled out everything they asked me, I filled it out, and then she checked me. So she checked me, and she just felt it, and I'm like, no, it's only with the one lump on my right breast. And she said to me, don't you worry, we're going to sort it out very quickly. We're going to manage it. So I'm not even telling about hearsay. I've helped a lot of women, and yours is even a small case, so don't panic. And going into a consulting room with a doctor that makes you feel like you're going to be fine. I came out feeling like a winner. I don't want to lie. I felt like, yes, she didn't make me feel depressed or make me feel like I'm just gonna face the worst from now on. So what happened is she literally scheduled me for an operation for the 10th of July. So at that time, I wasn't put on any treatment. Only after the COVID now happened, and she said to me, nope, I'm going to now link you with the oncologist. And then that's when they put me on tamoxifen and the Eligard injection that I take for 6 months. I went in for my 6-month injection now in February, but I'm hoping that I'm going to get my operation date anytime from now, before another 6 months of the Eligard. Yeah.
Okay. And Perfect, can you tell us a bit, are you experiencing any side effects from the treatment you are receiving?
I did. The hot flashes were, I guess live with them. It's possible because the supplements that I'm on really help. There was a month when I didn't order them, and then I could now feel the side effects more. So it's as if the supplements that I'm taking are helping so that I'm pain-free and hassle-free. So yeah. So, but the side effects, yes, definitely. The joints and the hot flashes. Okay. But those are the main ones. But for now, because of the supplements, I don't feel the joint pains anymore. I feel the hot flashes are the one constant side effect that's remained.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. And All right, Joe, tell us now about, when all this happens, do you think of the financial aspect of it as well? Did you have a medical aid? Were they able to help you thus far, or what sort of financial support have you had?
What happened? Okay, so December 2019, when I did leave my stressful job, I'll always go back to that job because I feel like that's where everything started. I cut off my medical aid because now I had to go job hunting again. So I was off medical aid. Now I get diagnosed in June and I don't have medical aid. But that month end, at least my mother was able to say, you know what, I'll take out medical aid for you. Now the trick was that I cannot claim for anything cancer related for the next 12 months. So even with the injections, before the policy paid out, my dad is the one that helped me. My dad is the one that helped me to now go get the Eligard injections. I believe I was very fortunate and blessed that when I walked into my surgeon's consulting rooms, she's never charged me a cent. And I've never asked why, I've never asked why. But one day when I did call in, I heard their answering machine talking about complementary health. So I was like, oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's part of the things they do, and it's not for everyone. They just do a random selection. That's what I thought. Okay. And so, as well, my surgeon said to me, I've got rooms in Helen Joseph Hospital in Johannesburg, because I go to Milpark, and then now I've got two files, one file in Milpark, one file in Helen Joseph. And then she said to me, don't worry, I've got rooms in Helen Joseph, same standard, same person. So I'll be there operating on you. So don't worry and panic and say now you're moving from the private hospital to the public hospital. The quality won't be the same. So I went into Helen Joseph. I did my mammograms as well there. And then because of the COVID, so the nice thing about my surgeon, she said to me, you know what, you're doing well. So I'm not going to now push for you to get an appointment for an operation, whereas there's still the whole COVID thing happening. So I guess I'm now waiting for my medical aid to kick in, and it's only kicking in like the 2nd of August. But for now, I'm doing quite well. Yeah. And she's not calling me into her consulting rooms a lot now, because I think she's seen how I'm responding to the tamoxifen and the supplements that I'm taking. Okay. Because the lump itself, I didn't know that when it gets softer, that means that's when it's like responding well. Apparently it's not supposed to be hard. Okay. So it's getting softer. Wow. And there's some days where I have to literally feel for it. So it's slowly just shrinking.
Great. That's wonderful. Too. Oh, shame. All right. And now, tell us a bit about your experience with Platinum Life. From when you had to claim and even after the claims process.
So it's funny when I went in for my biopsy, my mom was not allowed to come in with me because it was still COVID times. So I went in on my own, and she waited outside in the car. So there was one point I went to the car and I'm like, don't worry, they're almost done. And she's like, what are they doing? She looks so worried. I'm like, don't worry. If it's cancer, I have a policy, And she looked at me like, are you crazy? I'm like, but if it's cancer, I have a policy. So don't worry, because you're now going to start stressing about where you're going to get the money, what you're going to do, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. That's the first thing that came into my mind when I went into those rooms. I just didn't, I guess it shocked me that it came so early in my life. I didn't even think I would need the policy to pay out so early in my life. But anyway, what happened is when Platinum Life did pay out, I was extremely shocked. When you're put in a bad situation, but something good comes out of it, it's a weird feeling. it's like you're in a very bad situation, but something very, 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 very good comes out of it, you know? And I felt like that's how Platinum Life was. It was like my light at the end of the tunnel, you know? So when the policy money did come out, my surgeon actually said to me, so I don't want you to, I know that you're going to get your policy paid out, but the one thing I don't want you to do is come to the hospital and operate with it. I want to help you so that you can use the money for other things in your life. She said, I'm not even going to debate with you. You're not, because you're doing well, you're responding well. So I was actually able to help my parents out as well financially with other things. And I think the more I tell people about Platinum Life, they get so shocked, especially because you guys also sent me that shopping voucher. Goodness me, everyone is like, what is happening in your life? Why are you the sick person that's having the time of their lives?
Shame. Oh,
everyone is like, you know, you seem like you have it all together, and I'm like, but it's not that it doesn't affect me. It does. I just have a positive way of looking out for it.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Yes.
Shame. All right. And Tshegofatso, now just lastly, I mean, you are such a positive person. You are such an inspiration. I hope someone really watches this and also gets, inspired from you. But what, because I read also in your letter, you said this experience, you're actually grateful for this experience, and it has changed your life actually for the better. How would you, what advice would you give others who might be going through the same situation, who has just been diagnosed with cancer, or to people who might say, you know what, cancer won't happen to me?
You see, for somebody who just got diagnosed, it's better. But someone who would feel like, oh, cancer won't happen to me, oh my word. I feel like people should always be ready for anything, honestly. With my diagnosis, I felt like I was given a second chance to do life better. Because when somebody gets diagnosed, immediately you think, oh my word, my life is going to be cut shorter than I even imagined, But I think when you win the battle in your mind and you're like, no, I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to not, because it's as if when we're young, we have an excuse to say we want to live recklessly and not eat healthy and not take better care of ourselves, because when we're older, that's the time. But I've realized that you start immediately with your health. You need to take care of your health so much that when you're older, you don't have a lot of things to deal with. So for me, I would say to someone who just got diagnosed that don't fear. Don't fear. Fear is the number one killing, I would call it, disease. Don't fear. Because for everything in my journey, after I got diagnosed, I could see that everything was already laid out for me. It's as if I was walking on a road that had been constructed long ago, before I even came on that road, So fear is the biggest thing. And don't surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with positive people. And I think for me, the one thing that was healing to me that could not be healing to somebody else is disclosing. I think for me, because I told everybody, I felt like I needed to tell people so that I owe it to them to show them that I can beat this. So it's like they're my measuring stick. When I tell somebody and I feel like, oh, they didn't receive it well, it's none of my business, but that's for them. But it's as if I needed to prove to myself and prove to the people that I've told that I'm going to beat this. So it's just a positive mind, zero fear and a positive mind, constant prayer, because I was led to a lot of people that really helped me. I think the one thing that also stresses people out is reading too much about it, or thinking too much about it, or now always Googling things. No. I stopped doing that. As soon as I saw that these supplements are good and they're helping me, I stopped reading. I stopped researching. I just stopped All I did was eat right. I found out what I should eat, what I shouldn't eat. I found out what I should do and what I shouldn't do. And I take my treatment every day and my supplements every day. And I live a very normal life.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Tshegofatso. That is wonderful and really great advice.